Season is nice.
Is it?
Yes.
It's probably is fall allergies. Anyway, welcome to the Facts
and Feelings
Happy Hour.
I am your host, Big Meech.
And I am Fire Angelou. So good to be here.
It's so good. Yes.
Cheers. Tell the people what we're drinking on today after you take the sip.
Now that we got our back sound effects, I'm making a lot of sound effects. Now that we off the Zoom. This is an Applejack. I'm gonna name that Bling. I'm gonna start putting drink name. Bling Bling Applejack.
Do you like Apple Jacks and cereal?
That's not. I can go on a tangent about cereal.
Okay,
I'm gonna do it.
Nope.
I used to. They don't make them the same. Moving on.
All right. Actually, they reformulated a lot of cereals.
Apple cinnamon Cheerios. They don't taste like that though. Never mind.
No.
Rolling with it.
Anyway, so guess we should do the weekly catch up.
Yeah.
We got our drinks. So how's your week been?
It's good. Ain't nothing new. Getting money. I got a comedy show coming up.
Okay, talk to the people about this.
SU Homecoming. Chew the backer, spit. It's just for my Rams right now. If you ain't a Ram, can you finish it?
Yeah. Wait. What's
no, you can't.
Because it sounds like you just said SU.
I did, but there's more than one SU. That's how we call it SU because in the vicinity where we at is SU. So I'm pretty sure Southern is called SU.
How do you say it?
Well, we say S.
So what would it be? What would the SU be standing for?
Salem State University. Salem University. We call it SU.
Okay.
There's a lot of S's in it. It's WSSU. And then in that vicinity, though, like if you're in Winston and you're on the radio, they're just like, all right, so SU can. There's only one school in that area.
Yeah.
So
one state university.
Now, if I'm in DC, I'm not gonna say that I went to SU because they're gonna be like, no, where? Now, which one?
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Because our listenership is so vast.
Yeah.
They might have thought you was talking about Southern University.
They could have thought I was talking about Southern.
But then when you said that, chew the back, then
that eliminated Southern, Howard, all of that.
Okay.
Cut it out.
So you're going to be doing...
You were supposed to finish that because it wasn't finished.
Chew the back and spit?
If you ain't around...
You ain't?
I
can't say that because I'm a tiger.
It's okay, but I just knew you would know how to finish it. That's how deep it is in our soul.
I just couldn't
energy. Got a comedy show for Homecoming. Please come out. It's gonna be me.
When is Homecoming?
B-Dot, Darren Brand, Just Hilarious, couple of other folks pulling up. Just come see about
and my dog on the docket.
And my dog on the docket. We not going to jail. No court today.
Whatever.
We on there. October 21st.
October 21st.
That's my
You're doing a comedy show with Darren Brand. You've done content with him before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done stuff with Jess before?
No, I have not. It's been my first time.
You know, I love me some Jess aside from how problematic she is. Homophobic, transphobic, but, you know. Who is it?
Don't put that on her.
No, she is.
Alright, well,
she is.
My save.
Without a doubt. But,
you the one like her? You the one that's your little boo thing?
Let me tell you something. I like a lot of problematic people.
It's alright. Boo things be problematic sometimes. You just gotta wrangle them in. Once she meets you, you understand. She gonna be like, I'm still a doctor. And I learned so much about my ways.
I feel like other people have tried to help. And if they hadn't gotten through. You know, sometimes people be... it used to be a podcast I listened to. They used to talk about, like, they problematic fave. And so, Jess is problematic.
She's your problematic fave?
Yeah. You think? Mostly for the homophobic, transphobic stuff.
Yeah, but she's your fave.
She's a fave. She's a fave.
Yeah.
Of, like, female comics. You know what I mean? She's not fave of all.
No, I'm saying is she your problematic fave? Like, on the list of problematic people on your list, is she your problematic? I can't even think of a problematic fave.
Well, it's like, it would be like a fave that's problematic as opposed to problematic people that are my faves. I don't like a lot of problematic people.
Got you. That makes sense.
But she's one of them.
I got you. Alright, but yeah, come catch us at October 21st. Buy your tickets, even if you don't go to Winston. It's going to be a great show. Let's go. What you had?
Alright, let's see.
What was your weekend though? You ain't do nothing?
Oh, my week. Oh, shit. Well, you know, I want to say that things are leveling off for me. There was a period of transition.
In a good way?
Yeah. Things are becoming stable.
Okay.
In some areas. And so I'm grateful for that. Still kind of wrapping up like my old job, starting this new job, or my own job, working for myself. Being an entrepreneur,
listen,
I have said it before,
it's hard.
There's a lot of learning and unlearning that I'm navigating right now.
You've been in corporate for a long time. It's so hard. I feel like it's the hardest.
Yeah.
Going into entrepreneurship, you can just learn the classes and that's that, but having to unlearn and relearn and move forward and be successful. Listen,
I really wish that I was a painter because I have like an image in my head. And I'm gonna share it with one person. Now I'm gonna share it with the thousands of you that listen.
Me too.
I haven't shared it with you.
All right, let's get it. All right, y'all do facts.
But today, kind of like the period of my life, not just today. The period of my life that I'm in right now feels a lot like January 1st, 1863.
Okay.
So, like the day that the Emancipation Proclamation took hold and black people were free. And I've been talking to my therapist about this because I really want to look up, if someone has a book or something that details like the literal unraveling of slavery, like how did it happen, right? But in my mind, this is what I see. I am walking off the plantation. And there are a lot of people that are willfully staying on the plantation.
Right.
Because what I'm walking into is terrifying. Right? Like, you don't know what life outside the plantation is.
Right.
Right? Because there are some people, what I do know from reading slave narratives, who didn't want to leave the plantation.
Right.
They were like, I mean, mass ain't that bad, but at least I get clothes on my back and 3 meals.
Outside.
And it's like, so you want to venture out and you don't know what's, now it's the terrifying part of choosing a name for yourself.
Yep.
What do I want to do? What time do I want to do those things? And so it feels very much so. Yeah, and it feels like I'm in my own emancipation. Right? I proclaimed it and I'm in my own season. But it's terrifying because another part is that I'm struggling with is like survivor's remorse, right? Because sometimes I'll look back at the plantation and I'm like, yo, y'all should be free too.
Yeah.
But then one of the things I'm working on is that everybody doesn't have to. Everybody isn't called to entrepreneurship.
Different.
Yeah, and I don't do that whole thing like everybody need to be a business owner. If that ain't your thing, it ain't your thing. And I have to recognize that all I can do is continue to walk my best walk.
Yep, and help us along the way.
Yeah, and if other people see like, dang, that's a black lady walking down the street freely. She ain't got to be stuck on this plantation. Because I've had people do that for me.
Yeah.
So that was a long way of summing up how my week has been, but that's something I'm trying to, I wish I could paint, because I wish I could paint a picture of like the plantation gates being open. It reminds me of that scene at Django, right at the end where they burn down the plantation and him and Olivia Pope are on the horse and on that nag going crazy, just doing little tricks. I wish I could paint a picture of like open gates, big open gates, and me walking forward, not looking back, like onto a dirt road. Yeah. I wish I could do that.
I think you can have that done.
I can have it done, but I wish I could do it, like do the labor of love. But anyway,
I got you.
So
I also want you to know that you had, and I'm going to put a bubble over my head because you had said, I wish I was a painter. Because I feel like my life is January 1st, and I want you to know that I composed myself to not know what the fuck happened January 1st, 1963. And so he was like, in the Emancipation Day, you're absolutely right. That's what it was. I was gonna keep it cool. I wish I was a painter because on January 1st, Renaissance, wasn't it?
That's it.
Painting.
Wow.
But it wasn't. Not in 1863.
No, not that one.
I tried to let it go. Me.
Yeah.
She brought it home for me, and that's fine. And I know the one, so.
You ain't the only one. Because I was like, I said I want to be a painter, but I ain't talked about the painting.
You didn't say the painting, and then went straight into, because January 1st, 1863, because that was Van Gogh, wasn't it? What? No? That wasn't even that.
That was Picasso.
It wasn't even, because Van Gogh's music. That's okay. Yeah. All I'm saying.
Van Gogh was not music.
Yes, Van Gogh was music. Who had the ear?
Van Gogh.
But he still was painting. Painting. The ear had nothing to do with the music. That's fine. Okay.
You know what? You would think that it would. Mm-hmm. You would think that it would, because
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tape her off.
Why did he chop off?
He chopped off his ear. Is that something to do with the?
Did he chop it off?
Yeah, he chopped it off to not have to hear something, and so immediately in my
maybe he heard a ring.
Is that something to do with a woman? It always does.
Of course it does.
I'm gonna look it up.
Fucking idiots.
It has something to do with a woman and his love or something. Maybe he didn't want to hear this bitch talk no more. Right.
Your eardrum still in there.
Right.
You been cut off the canal.
Right, man.
Wow. That shit dangerous.
Van Gogh.
Yeah, why did he? The only thing I could think, maybe he had like a ringing in his ear, but that still wouldn't make it go away, because your eardrum is still in there. What you see?
Circumstances in which Van Gogh cut off his ear are not exactly known, but many experts believe that it was following a furious row with Gauguin at the Yellow House. Afterwards, Van Gogh allegedly packed up the ear and gave it to a prostitute in a nearby hotel.
They French, right?
Maybe Gauguin.
Gauguin.
Gauguin. However you saying it.
Yeah. You know how to say it. It's like how that
Gauguin.
like the
Gauguin.
like Gauguin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gauguin. Gauguin.
Girl.
And the Yellow House. And that's where the hoe came in because he gave it to a prostitute in a brothel.
He gave his ear?
Yeah.
To a prostitute?
Packed it up at the
in a whole house.
Yeah. Prime example. I feel like maybe that's a little bit of, maybe he's on a spectrum. Cutting off your own ear because you mad at another nigga. I got like it's one of these situations where he was like, Mwah! Cut it off, realized he did, and walked out. Was like, you know what? Pack it up. Instead of packed it up, left, gave it to someone in the brothel. Shout out. Anyway, go ahead.
The put on.
Yeah.
What you got this week?
It's really not always one of those things where I'm late, y'all not, I'm sure. Because it's supposed to be like, man, you late. Niggas love to tell you, I ain't been on.
I don't think that many people on.
It's still like, people that's on music is on.
Yeah.
And I will say that I've been on, I was aware, but I just hadn't listened to anything deeply.
Gotcha.
So, brings me to Samara Joy. 23 years old, young,
okay.
Out of Brooklyn, jazz singer. Do you hear me? Because it ain't always about bust it open to the sad side. It's not really, outside of that. And I didn't even know if we would get any more real jazz singers, black jazz singers. I thought, it was a dying genre because who wants to do that anymore with hip hop and trap and all that. But honey, I think less about her and more about her parents. Do you know what kind of home you had to grow up in to cultivate that?
Yeah.
Deeply, because she got the sound. She's I ain't gonna get it, but it's that kind.
Oh wow! I love her,
but
Yeah, I love Samara Joy.
Deep.
Yeah, she's pretty talented.
Exceptionally talented. If y'all get a chance, go.
She is the best new artist for the Grammys this year. She won the award for best new artist.
And that's still on that now.
Right? Think about that.
Yeah.
Singing jazz, contemporary jazz, scatting, giving you Ella Fitzgerald, giving you what's her name, Judy, Judy Garland, and all that stuff, giving you all of that.
All of it.
23 years old.
Yeah.
Out of Brooklyn, all the genres of music that she could have went into,
and went into jazz deeply, it's not like I'm an R&B singer and every now I dabble in jazz, because you had that. Remember with that video floating around Whitney Houston doing the opera flex?
Yeah.
Sometimes you have singers and if you're talented enough,
Jill Scott does it.
Jill Scott, they can all dabble, but that is her genre, and she's doing it so well. She has that cover, that Adele cover.
Someone Like You. I put the link in the bio to the notes, and it'll be on YouTube.
And I advise you listen to that first, because sometimes it's harder to listen to music when you don't know. If you don't listen to that first because you know what that sounds like. Just listen to it. Take that to church. See how my hands doing that?
Yeah, I see.
That's how you know.
You got to self-soothe. Is that good?
That's that self-soothing. You just feel like, I know this ain't gospel, but my God, why is it hitting like this?
Because that's what good music
does. That's what good music does. Period.
She's so talented.
If you get a chance, Samara Joy, 23. She's had a long career.
You got to see her in person.
Oof, you win. Oh, you just win. Sometimes you just sit your ass up in here. You just flex. But you have got to see her in person. Did you see? Oh, of course. This is your put on, not mine.
I went to a free public concert. I don't know if you know, but I go to the Jazz Festival in Atlanta every year. I've been going for like 11 years. This year, Samara Joy was the headliner.
Yeah.
So I required everyone to stay until she hit the stage. She did a smooth hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it was so good. Because once I listened to another podcast, and they had mentioned her on that podcast. It was like, you got to check this out, right? And then I started listening to her, and then I saw her win the award at the Grammys, and she has a cover of what I know to be Nancy Wilson's Guess Who I Saw Today. And I love Nancy Wilson. So that was okay, let me see what this girl got going on. So good. So good. And then I think her grandfather was big into some genre, maybe gospel, but music is in her family.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. But she's
I think Esperanza Spalding was the last black jazz artist that I was listening to heavy. So she's definitely come in and taken it by storm. And I would love to have. She sings a type where I like to listen in intimacy. I would love to see her before it's a you know, it may already be too late. That kind of crowd where you can still do a small venue.
Yeah, and I think smaller venue. That's why I said, like, I saw her at an open festival, right? But I'm talking to be in a room.
And that venue, like, you ever
with the live cellists and stuff, huh?
You ever go to So Far concerts? Mm-mm. Oh, I'm about to put you on. This is like a double put on.
Okay.
So Far is a...
Like So Far Gone? Like Drake?
Yeah, but it's just called So Far, like So Far music events. And what they do is they have them for every city. And you can sign up, like you sign up to be like a part of them, whatever. They send you alerts, and they have concerts, like, but they're very intimate. They're pop-up places you never know where. It's like the most amazing date thing we can do.
What kind of artists
we were doing
do this?
Any kind. So it depends. Sometimes it depends on you can kind of gauge by the city.
You went to go see like Xavier and Omar.
Xavier Omar.
Yeah,
but not through that. I did see him at a small venue, and it's so funny. You read my mind. I was going to mention him, but no, these are just random artists, and sometimes they're artists that blow up. Like I think Ed Sheeran had done one time, like before he was him. And they're just artists. You pay your money. You don't know who you're gonna see, and you get there, and
that's dope.
It's just genuine. You have to like music for that.
You don't know who you're gonna see.
No, you don't know. They're artists. Yeah. But they signed up for this, and you just come prepared to just have.
I would love that.
Oh my god! And I've seen some dope people downloaded some albums from it.
I would love that.
Alternatively, I have definitely been to some where I was pissy the whole time because it was like, baby, how you get up here? Who signed you up and said that? Saying, but that's rare. There's usually true musicians that play instruments, and it's beautiful. I did see Xavier Omar in a small setting, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. I was out west. I was in Arizona somewhere.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, definitely put me into that. So on the put on, so this is a term that just came into my awareness. So I'm saying I just got put onto it. Based on the reaction to Jamie Foxx's comments about they killed Jesus, and then the reaction that black people had, I know black people don't understand anti-Semitism. Right. In the way that, and I might just be speaking for myself, in the way that it impacts people of Jewish culture, Jewish faith, Jewish ethnicity. So, Jew-face. Like blackface, but Jew-face. Okay. So, a movie is coming out that is produced by Bradley Cooper. You know Bradley Cooper. I do. So, Bradley Cooper is playing Leonard Bernstein. Okay. Now, I'm not familiar with Leonard Bernstein. The name is familiar enough, but it's not of my culture, so I can't say I know. But there were some early critics that came out and said that because Leonard had a larger nose, which is stereotypically attributed to people of Jewish ethnicity, and maybe faith and culture, but it's like that's a part of their phenotype, and he has a prosthetic nose put on. Right, so there became this whole conversation of, does he need to look like a stereotypical Jew to play this role? Right, and so Leonard's family has come out and said, y'all are doing too much. My dad would not mind. It's a part of his aesthetic, but being a Jew wasn't like the sum total of his life. It was a part of who he is, but it wasn't the sum total. And so it's fine. But what I thought was interesting is a show that we both love is widely accused of Jew-face, and it's The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Because the three main characters, Abe, Rose, and Midge, they're Jewish characters, but they are not Jewish at all. And they were like, it's different again because everything in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, their whole experience is colored by them being Jewish, right? And like the way that they talk and the cultural events that they participate in. And so the idea is that the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, and others are saying this movie that Bradley is doing and the way that they're doing it is fine. But what y'all should be upset about, and I guess people of Jewish faith and people that know about it have been upset that The Marvelous Miss Maisel has been apparently engaging in Jew-face. Yeah. Because it's like, it goes back into that conversation, and I think we talked about this before. Should someone of Jewish faith just play these characters?
So this is the thing. And then I'm going to break this down. We're going to start at blackface. We're going to start at blackface and Jew-face. I feel like, and no one wants to talk about it, because obviously we don't have to shed light on the things, you know, that aren't like pain points and stuff. But like blackface is a thing.
Yeah.
Like it was an entire genre, right? Like of movies and entertainment. Blackface isn't putting on black makeup. And sometimes that annoys me because it can take away sometimes from intention in art. Like blackface was an entire genre of entertainment designed to make fun of black people. So someone like I've seen like these new makeup artists that are really talented and they can turn themselves into people. I've seen people do that, like maybe an Asian lady do her makeup to turn herself into a black.
To Beyonce,
Yeah,
or Rihanna,
or Whoopi Goldberg, or whoever she decides. It's like she's putting on blackface, and it's like, no, she's not, unless she explicitly draws red lip and big nose and you know, like big teeth or whatever she may, you know, they attribute to black social stereotypical features. That's not blackface, and it pisses me off because like we've seen a lot of that. Like these politicians are going out, they're putting on blackface, they're putting on actual black as this microphone makeup, doing Sambo shit, reflecting or referencing black culture to the best of the ability that you can to play a role or doing whatever to play that person. If you got to put on a wig because this motherfucker had nappy hair, like, and it was extremely kinky, and let's just say, you know, you're of mixed race and your hair isn't, and you put that wig on, it's not blackface unless you're doing some coonish things in it. Now, there's a separate conversation to be had of what you could do to avoid having to do those things in the first place. Can you hire Jewish actors with a larger nose? Sure. Do we know that Hollywood's is smaller than you think, and the same people are kind of getting to work and all this stuff? That's a different issue for a different day, for sure. But it's not Jew face. Now, if he's going around with like this huge nose on, doing like Jewish stereotypes, sure.
Right.
And, you know, putting on a yarmulke and acting crazy in it, sure. But like, it's not the same, and I just hate for people to just throw out terms and jargon because that's what it is. Oh, you got on blackface. They put, I think Zoe Saldana.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, when she was trying to play Nina Simone, they said she was in blackface.
You don't think that was?
No, it's not. Should they have gotten somebody else to play Nina Simone? Absolutely, but it's not blackface. She's herself for one. She's I don't know if she identifies as black or not. Maybe she's not. She's mixed. Maybe she teeters. All that's fine. But the intent. What is it put on that
she
makeup?
Doesn't identify as black, or
it's not my business. She was born as, it's not my business. If she don't identify, that's fine. But again, if the intent isn't to make fun of or provide ridicule or whatever, it's not the same. Now, again, if decisions can be made. Like you can make a conscious decision to not be a white person dressing up as a black character, and no matter how. I love Muhammad Ali. I just wanted to be him. You probably shouldn't do that, dog. You probably shouldn't have did it to do it to the party.
Right.
You shouldn't have done it. Is it blackface if you do it? No, it's just not. But can you use some discernment to move in other ways?
So you're saying blackface is the making your appearance look like that and doing like harmful stereotypes. Yeah. It's not just what you do with your appearance. It's the appearance and making a mockery.
It's the appearance associated with the mockery. Putting on black makeup or darker, I could even say makeup. Like right now, if I wanted to play, I don't know, if they cast me in a role as a male and I had to play Shaka Zulu, I'm gonna have to take it a little bit darker. I'm gonna have to be a little bit different. And obviously there are like women leaders. I can't think of them right now. But if I have to play, whatever, male feel like warrior, and they have to make me look the part, it's not blackface. Unless I'm out there being like, oh, but, doing whatever. If I'm white, and they cast me for the role of playing Shaka Zulu, that's going to be a conversation all in itself.
Yeah.
But it's not blackface.
So I think what the people, and I'm not saying that they're right, because I think the way that people respond to things, I'm not even going to name it what we name it, which is cancel culture. And,
like Kings of Egypt. Remember that?
No.
Kings of Egypt. It's all white cast.
And playing people with bronze skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should they be doing that? Absolutely not. And that can be it. as opposed to being like, that's blackface and they're racist. We have to just talk about the bottom line of Hollywood and why they're doing that. Right. Why would you ever cast 3 white men to play Egyptian kings? Why would you do that?
So then the questions would be needed to ask to the casting directors, to all those people. But I think people who are Jewish who would say, so much, Bradley Cooper, you're directing the film.
Right.
You didn't have to put your non-Jewish ass in this
movie.
role.
You did.
And because if you were of Jewish faith, maybe you would have a phenotype that looks like Leonard Bernstein or Bernstein or whatever. But I think your point is right. I think people get really hasty. I did not like what Zoe did with Nina Simone.
Neither.
I did not fuck with that at all.
I didn't fuck with it.
But when I think about blackface, it is tied to me to stereotypes, harmful stereotypes, racism. And I don't think that was Zoe's intention.
It wasn't.
But I think it was poorly done.
Incredibly poor taste. As soon as I see it, came up, I said, bitch, I know you
want to tell her that she should have turned that role down. I'm not feeding that girl family.
Right. And two things here. Ooh, that brings you to another thing too. The feeding of the families. So we can all say that too. For instance, let's just say we all know, if you know me, if you follow me, whatever, I'm funny, maybe you think I'm not, whatever. But
who don't think you funny?
Who knows?
Fuck up.
Fools. But let's just say, I can play a lot of roles. That doesn't mean I should, right? I can make my voice deep. I can play a guy if I wanted to. I can play a country white man. Eventually I will. They're going to tell me I'm in white face. Like, there's no such thing as these other faces. Like, what's Asian face?
So you saying Jewish face isn't real?
Wait, I ain't going to take that. I don't mean that. I mean, like, anytime somebody, if I'm playing a, I don't know, it might have been damn Hiroshima, I don't know, I'm in some place in Japan playing a ninja, then am I an Asian face because I'm being a ninja? Now, if I'm down there like,
don't do it. If you're doing harmful stereotypes, don't do it.
Alright.
Okay.
But if I'm doing that, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm here and they cast me the role and I could easily be.
You may not be doing quote unquote Asian face in that case, but you are appropriating a culture.
You're appropriating a culture that you're not a part of. And you don't, like, and I could do all the research. I can be like, I spent 3 years in Japan studying
I really respect the culture.
I respect the culture. And again, that's my check. Using that reference because I love
money,
martial arts, kung fu, all that good stuff, and money. And it's like, who am I to turn down? You know what I mean? To be like, nah, y'all should really, I should feel that way. Like y'all should really pick somebody of Japanese heritage to play this. And in the next 5 years, if a good role come for me, that's gonna be up for $50 million for me, then I'll take it.
Most people are a matter of personal ethics, right? Like
you
can't then, like if you took that role and you're like, I appreciate, you can't then call yourself an ally because an ally would back down from that role and say, give it to somebody else.
I know somebody you can give it to.
You know what I mean? And also, I brought this person in. Like, I'm putting this person on. But it becomes a matter of personal ethics. Am I going to say that to somebody who's starving?
Sometimes, it all sounds good. We can all say it. We all say that.
I might take the role.
I know, like you said, Denzel's turned down some roles and been like, no, that's not what I'm about. Right. There's a lot of movies he hasn't done because he's like, I'm never going to do that kind of movie. Yeah. You don't even got to approach me with it. Pretty sure there was some checks tied to it. But, again, where are you at in your career? Some of those, I can't attest to where they were earlier in his career, later, when you already had your bag. Sometimes it's hard. Yeah. I know Will Smith had turned down some roles earlier in his career that he probably could have stood to take. Yeah. But he was like, nah, it's not kind of
guy. But he took Wild Wild West.
He did. That was later, too. He didn't even have to do that.
He didn't have to do that.
And he turned down the Matrix for it. My God. Either way, everybody's different. It is what it is. I just feel like Chrisette Michelle comes to mind too. Nothing to do with blackface or anything, but doing what you need to do for a bag. I hate that they cancel her for going to, for going to sing at the thing. That's easy for y'all to say. Like, let that girl go get her money and come. She ain't never say I support Trump. I voted for him. They want me to come over here and sing. Do y'all mind if I go sing, get my check, and go the fuck home? She hadn't had any. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what kind of. Look, you don't know, and I hate that they did. I want her. This is my petition to bring back Chrisette Michelle.
You're an old lady for real.
Yeah, bring her back, man. Damn, that was some good music that we missed out on and had to have years of her career. And she probably feels like, damn, I guess it won't worth it. But I figured my folks will let me go get to a bag. Did we knock down keeping them from the hood? Where they had to do what they had to do, strange things to get a bag, and now they done with it. It's no different. If you move a little weight in your day, now all of a sudden I'm looking down my nose and I'm judging.
You know, with the Chrisette thing, I did not like when she did it, and she deviated from the culture. But like you said, she had a family to feed. She got things to pay for. So did I think that the ramifications would last this long?
No, she didn't either. I think it was $500,000. That's what it was, and that's how you know.
Not worth it.
It's not now. And again, if it was 5 people, it was like, if it was 5 million, maybe I can understand. How the fuck do you know? 500,000 if she needed it right on time. I can go up here. They ain't even asking me to sing my shit. I'm going up here to sing some. Up there with Samara Joy. She was going up there to Z-bop and D-bop. And I'm gonna catch my check. I'm gonna come back and make an album for y'all. And I would have been just fine. Meanwhile, y'all let everybody else hoot and clown and coon. I was upset by that. I feel like, man,
you still upset.
I am. I'm pissed off because
I do like that.
You lost, you died. That's what it sounds like. All the best of me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I'm gonna be a jazz singer.
It's the facial expression. You have to do it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So that was my put on learning about Jew face, and so that just in summation.
Yeah.
The idea is that there are offenses to every culture that you may or may not be aware of. So canceling people for making a fucking mistake when it's outside of their awareness is stupid.
It's stupid.
And so it's the idea.
No, man.
It's the idea that we can all learn from these things and just take a minute to dig into a culture that is not your own, because you know everything that offend black people. You know everything that offend people from the South. You know everything that offend women. Have you taken time to consider what things might be considered offensive to people that are East Asian, South Asian, Jewish, disabled?
Everybody
have you
has
taken the time, right? And you can't be perfect, but just how do you respond when people bring these things to your attention? Do you say, man, fuck you, I can put this nose on if I want to? Or do you say, that wasn't my intent, I consulted with the family before and they thought it was respectful and tasteful, and move on? If
you watch our episodes before, you know me, you know what I'm going to say. I am all about accountability. You don't know what you don't know. But who you are is defined by how you move once you know.
That's it.
Like I can't help. If I offended you, I truly didn't know. But now taking the defense because you're offended, I can easily if I had no ill intent or no malice, there's no way my default is to be like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I had no idea. That's not where I was going with that. Like at all. I do think, and I ain't gonna hold you, whatever. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it or not. I thought it was a stretch or a reach when they like did all that with Jamie Foxx and him be like, yeah, they killed Jesus. Like, yeah, okay, Jesus is like universal. Okay, we're all rocking, and I feel like y'all know what he meant. Like it was like, you know, they killed this dude named Jesus. Maybe they didn't, because again, sensitivity is a thing. But I know that wasn't his. I've heard that in so many sermons, and they killed a man, and the they isn't referring to us. It was almost like a hit dog or hollow. That's what it felt like to me. Like, okay, we was talking about that. We won't even talk, but okay, I get that technically, because my thing is, what you offended by then? Because if you're offended, it's because you thought that he was referencing this is Jews killed Jesus. Am I wrong?
That's what the offense was.
That's what the offense was. But then what's wrong?
What do you mean?
His intention wasn't to be offensive.
We don't know somebody's intent when we read it.
That's fine. Right? But he's saying that it wasn't, right?
Yeah.
He's saying like, like the emphasis was on just Jesus being a person. If they could kill him, they could kill anybody, can kill anybody. You can see it that wasn't his intention because he's talking about his own friend, whatever. Right. Somebody betrayed him. Cool. Yeah. But my thing is, even if if he would have actually been referencing a Jew that offended him, because if he's saying like if they killed Jesus, what you think they'll do to you? Mm-hmm. I guess my thing is it's not a lie.
Well, so I kind of read up more about it because again I knew that I didn't really understand anti-Semitism,
right? Because
it was one of those things that even in my line of work doing DEI stuff, I just stayed away from because of the backlash that you get for even making a comment. So I looked into it a little bit because I was like, I don't really understand. So again, because I'm not a part of this community, I'm gonna be honest and say that when I'm listening to a rabbi explain why some people were offended with the comment, I felt like, man, come on. But then I had to catch myself and be like, yo, you're not a part of this culture. You don't know what it's like.
Can you give me, I'm speaking from the reference, if he were being intentional.
Yeah. So it would be, so let's say there's a stereotype that exists that and we know that black women are just hypersexual, right? We know that stereotype exists, that black women, I'm gonna go hypersexual for the example,
okay,
right? Like, you know, people see little black girls twerking, they be like, she being fast, and it's not an expression of culture. It's she is being sexually active too early. She's being just lusty. So let's say, even if you don't accept that, just accept that as a stereotype. Imagine that when a white woman goes to her friend and she says, I found out Todd was cheating on me, and you'll never guess what. You'll never guess who he was cheating on me with. And the girl says, I don't know who. And she was like, that old lusty, slutty, just animalistic black bitch Tamika.
But my thing is, in the flaw in that is that you're referencing a stereotype.
Yeah.
Historically, and this is why we need to figure this out, because, hey, baby, listen, man, no saint. Historically, is it factual in the Bible that the Jews killed Jesus?
So, but the concept,
because that wouldn't be factual that, like, black women are just slut buckets.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that would be a fact. That would be the, you know.
So it's a stereotype. It's not a fact. But to your point, there are consequences that people of Jewish faith have faced because they are blamed for the death of Jesus. At the hands of Christians. That's it. That's what I was trying to say. I get that. Question, but everybody walked there.
I get that.
And so it's basically like there are times where people of Jewish descent are discriminated against, barred from employment, barred from just being able to exist in spaces because devout Christians be like, you killed my Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
Like that's what your people did.
Your folks are
your people did it.
Get it.
And it's
this is all about education. So you see how they can work?
But here's the gotcha. So even the rabbi, and this was on the Higher Learning podcast, so Dr. Ari Lamb, he was explaining that like the people that were upset by what Jamie Foxx said, it's so ironic because there aren't people of Jewish faith don't draw a lot of delineations, right? It's not really a thing of you convert to Judaism, like it's like you're coming home because they say it's like the original faith or whatever. And so he was saying that the people that would have been on social media to see what Jamie Foxx said on the weekend were not observant Jews, because observant Jews on the weekends, they participate in Shabbos. And that's where you're not on technology, you're not engaging in social media. So the people that saw it, maybe Jewish by family culture, by family tradition, but they aren't observant Jews. And so it's like, okay, relax, because the rest of us saw it on Monday or Sunday. Yeah. And so I thought it was interesting, and they were just talking about like, because it's not a part of my life, I don't think about and have not been aware of the discrimination that people of Jewish faith have faced in this country, in this world, not even this country, because it's outside of my experience. I can't even point at nobody who I could say, like in my direct friend circle, is a person that is a Jew, and I can ask these questions because it's just so far outside of my experience. I don't know what they be going through.
I agree. I got enough going on in my own cultural experience.
So, but
be aware. Again, I love that information. Thank you for, because I couldn't put it together. I couldn't. I was having a hard time. But again, you never know what could offend somebody or why.
But like I said, most people in Jewish faith understood that the they was a proverbial day, not literal.
Instantly, like it was literally. I know I'm pissed off by something. I've seen that so many times as a reference. Like,
it's a black colloquial reference. That's a black colloquialism. Yeah. It's not a colloquialism across the board. Or it might be a Christian colloquialism. Yeah. And we know how Christianity and black people go together like Kool-Aid and red.
I've heard this so many times. You don't care what nobody owe me nothing. They killed Jesus. What you think they'll do? You know what I mean? Like, just in general. And I can see, that brings me back around. If y'all want to... Immersing yourself in black culture is all cool until you misstep something, because I also am annoyed with how woke has been hijacked.
Okay, that's
a whole nother day.
Okay, because people just be saying shit. So here we are to this segment of what the fuck people just be saying.
What do you got?
And I'm gonna let you go first because mine is gonna be a whole
I ain't have one.
Okay, good.
And
so
that's mine. Go ahead. People just be saying shit. White folks, whatever. Y'all have adopted a whole bunch of lingo from black people. Know what you talking about first. Do you remember when? Oh my God, what was it? It was a word. Oh, do you remember when chalet? Because white folks couldn't process child, so it was like woo chalet. It was just like it's not even what's happening.
Infuriated me more.
Whoa chalet, woo chalet. Like,
and I love that black people took it right back.
Took it right back. Chalet. They did. They took it right back. But that's just what we do. But again, stay out our shit, and you wouldn't have to worry. But you wouldn't have been offended by what he said if you knew y'all in there for everything else. Y'all love a rap song, love a good.
Or just fucking give people the benefit of the doubt.
By in general, give people again. I'm a
grace extender.
I'm in a grace extender. Ask them what do you mean by this. And you can be like, oh no, this one. Then you can avoid that instead of trying to.
Literally had this.
Man just came out. Dang. Also, that was another one. Woke antics. All this. They're right wing woke.
I can't touch on that. I can't touch. I have to dive.
Don't dive. We'll dive later.
So in terms of people be saying shit, I thought it'd be interesting to do something different.
Okay.
So have you heard of the threads that be on Reddit and Twitter? Am I the asshole?
Yeah.
So it's like people pose a scenario and then they ask, "Am I the asshole?" I'm gonna read a few of them. We're gonna talk about it.
I'm with it. I'm ready. Can I guess so I can say if they the asshole or not?
No, I mean it's all subjective.
We're
going into feelings, right? Facts and feelings. We own the feelings. So. Oh, this is the first one. I'm going to read it to you. Follow me if you can.
Okay.
I'm going to say, I'm not the best out loud reader. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm a doctor. Am I
about to find out something? You don't read aloud good?
Suck my nuts.
I'm popcorn.
One of the things you're going to find out when you do the ADHD test, is that, like, for me, my reading comprehension is, like, sucky. Yeah. Because I'm just going to be reading these words. I won't be able to answer the question for you.
That's fine.
And I just got to know myself.
As long as you can read them and you don't get stuck on
I'm a neurodiverse learner.
You don't get stuck on island. Go ahead.
The question is, am I the asshole, this is the theme, for farting on Thanksgiving dinner when my mother tried to bring up an embarrassing moment that my stepdaughter had? So follow me. My daughter, this person is 35 years old, the daughter is 14, has been struggling with health problems that cause her to wet the bed from time to time. No one knew about the bedwetting thing until we spent the night at my mother's house. Sophie had wet the bed in the guest room and my mother found out. My wife and I explained the situation, offered to clean up the mess, and then asked her to not tell anybody about what she saw because Sophie is already in a bad place mentally and would not be able to handle any comments from the family about this, even when she said she would be willing to stop visiting the family if it gets out. So my first thought is, what the fuck going on with Sophie?
Yeah.
We should all be asking those questions. She's 14.
Yeah, for sure. There's something.
Something. Okay? But that's not the point of this, so I'm keep going. On Thanksgiving dinner was held at my mother's house. While we were eating and talking about a bunch of stuff, my brother mentioned that his dog had peed in the kitchen. I looked at my mother and she looked like she had a, quote, similar story to tell, and that's what she loves to do. Just gossip and share, quote, similar stories. I knew what she was going to say when she opened her mouth and she said, "Speaking of pee," I felt helpless and tongue-tied. I couldn't even speak, so I just let out a loud fart as a means of distraction.
That's what's wrong with Sophie. Go ahead.
Everyone stopped and stared at me. It was very awkward and people were going, ew. The kids were laughing, including Sophie. Just a mix of reactions, but my mother was livid. She started berating me later about behaving disgracefully and shamelessly on Thanksgiving, at the Thanksgiving table, no less. Mm-hmm. I admitted it was on purpose to stop her from sharing an embarrassing moment of my stepdaughter and potentially traumatizing her for years to come. She laughed at the word, quote, traumatizing, and then called me childish and said that I should be ashamed of myself for pulling this stunt at her home on Thanksgiving. We had to leave, and my wife and Sophie were laughing, but I still had no idea why I did it. You know why you did it. Anyway, now my mother is upset, and so is my father, because he had invited his friends, and now I made them look bad. Am I the asshole?
So, no. Okay. No, the mama's the asshole for sure. Mm-hmm. He's a great stepdad. Provided we don't find out that Sophie been tapped or anything. That's what my mama say. She been touched. If she'll hope, praying she's not, and don't know what's going on. But that was really dope of him. He made himself a martyr. He sacrificed himself, threw himself in the line of fire. I'd rather embarrass myself than to have Sophie embarrassed. And I think that's really sweet. Why the fart? I don't know. It's like he also needs to be checked in on.
Random. He just timed the fart.
Panic moment, like just
sorry. I couldn't push out a fart right now if I wanted to because I don't have the fart.
Yeah, I don't have it ready.
Now if I had gas,
but his anxiety may have been like building
up,
knowing that she was finna run her damn mouth because that's how mamas do. Speaking of pissy.
The mom was the asshole.
The mom was the asshole. So not him. Was it gross? For sure. But did he achieve what he wanted to?
I also don't have. So I'm gonna tell you how I know I have a lot to unlearn. And one of the things that y'all gonna have realized, or maybe gonna realize, I think the same shit y'all be thinking. I just say my shit out loud. Mm-hmm. I felt very differently realizing that the person that farted was a man and not a woman. I had judgments in my mind that I had reserved because the woman who had let out this timely fart was a woman. Like, I was like, oh, but then once I realized it was a man, me just be like, look what I can do. And they do the little fart thing with their armpits, and then, you know, the sons be having farting and burping contests. So I expect that. But I didn't know until I thought these thoughts that I had a different expectation for women. But also, I am not a person who, and if you know me, you know I don't give a fuck about farting. Right. I'm not a person that feels like, oh, you know, if you got a fart, you need to step out the room and all this other stuff. I'm not that person. You agree with me at first. I just don't care that much.
No, you're at fucking Thanksgiving dinner table? Are you nuts? We're eating here. That's disgusting.
It's air.
It's not. It's ass air.
Coming through, filtered through jeans and drawers.
It's ass air. Get your ass up. If you are...
So, okay.
Am I going to flip out or anything? No, I'm not going to laugh, but it's disgusting. If we
just sit on the sofa watching TV, let's take dinner away from it. If we're just sitting on the TV.
If you're sitting anywhere next to me and you let out a loud, nasty ass wet fart,
you always get up and excuse yourself when you fart.
No.
So
they're silent but deadly. This is the business.
But if you're gonna have a noisy fart.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not. Hold on, we're missing it. I'm going to do it. It's disgusting.
Okay, you admit it's disgusting, but you're gonna do it.
I'm definitely farting.
So
I'm not farting at the table. I'm getting up and I'm leaving. That's disgusting.
Okay, so the table is one place.
That's because I'm food. Yeah, we sitting there watching a movie. I'm not.
I guess.
It depends on who I'm watching a movie with too. Like, come on, damn, you second date. Second date, y'all watch a movie together.
Okay, second date, but right now you wouldn't fart. Right now, if you had to fart, you wouldn't fart. Yeah. Right now, while we're recording, if you had a noisy fart was coming out your butt, you wouldn't do it.
Nah.
You say we need to pause, and you walk out the room.
I would say we're gonna fart and we just cut it out later.
Okay, but in general, right? I'm
gonna fart where I'm at. If depending on where I'm around.
But if that person is new,
I'm going to move.
But you have the judgment of it being disgusting.
I do. I have the judgment of being like, oh, that was so nasty. I'm so sorry.
So here's my thing.
That's so nasty, bro. And then it depends. You sitting there and it's like the wet behind it. It's just bad.
So here's my thing. We talked about this with masturbating too, and I don't want to get to another subject. But anything that I want to do naturally, I cannot do it and judge it as nasty. So if I do it, I'm taking that judgment off because that's a judgment of it being disgusting. So if I'm doing it, because I'm not going to sit here and do anything I feel like I'm a disgusting bastard.
Well, wait, no. You're taking it into context of farting being disgusting. It's not. It's a natural body.
So what's the disgusting part?
Doing that shit in the comfort where other people have to suffer from it. You are literally taking it intimate. We're watching a movie here, and because you let rancid air out your raggedy ass, because you don't know if it's going to be air.
What about burps?
That too. You just randomly, and now it smells like fucking hot dogs amongst the whole shit.
I just can't relate. I can't live my life with that level of pretense because if I got a fart,
I mean, you can do it. Burps are different. They happen. They typically last less. Nah. If you are sitting here and we're all under a blanket and we're watching a movie and when the fart's coming, farts don't just run out your ass.
How long we been friends?
Long time. You farted around me?
So let's move on.
You was about to say?
Yeah. No.
What I'm saying is, it's a group. I'm not saying it's us, it's whatever. You got a group of people, it's 6 people. We all watch a movie, having girls time, whatever, it's under there. And all of a sudden, it's just like, God dang. And you sitting there with that straight face like that, like.
Yeah. I farted.
It's trifling.
Yeah. So here's the next
I'm definitely
one.
gonna part though. I'm just not. See, but I can acknowledge I take my accountability, but like this shit was so trifling. But
my point is, anything I'm willingly doing, I'm not gonna deem it as trifling.
That's waggedy though. That's just you.
That's like how I live my life.
It's that same law that they passed. Like let's pass a law that killing little baby, white women killing babies ain't bad, so you don't feel bad about it. Just because you're doing it, don't make it not nasty.
Number one, that's murder. But I'm saying I had to liberate myself from the idea. If I'm a person that's going to be farting, I had to free myself up from the idea of it being disgusting. I'm not going to sit here and think of myself as disgusting every time. I love every part of me. So if I got a fart to you, but I'm not going to hold that judgment of myself. Because I'm like, where did we get that from? Where do we get it from?
Etiquette.
Who says?
There's letting out ass.
If you don't recognize how classist and racist etiquette is,
it's still it's ass air. And at any rate, it's just hey, there's a place here. You can go here to let out ass air.
Is the next scenario
juice.
Here is the next scenario.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for pretending to not know my fiance after she had a meltdown during boarding a plane and was eventually thrown off? Here we go. I imagine I'm going to get raked over the coals on this one. So my fiance, maybe not for much longer, and I were on our way back from a vacation recently. It was a great time and everything went off without an issue. Mm-hmm. That is until we started boarding the plane. Now I know better. I only bring a small backpack with essentials in case I don't get my check bags. I can survive out of this backpack, and it will always pass baggage check for size and weight. My fiance didn't want to listen to my advice and chose to bring basically a regular full-size bag that barely fits in the standards of carry-on. But generally speaking, the airline worker doesn't want to deal with the trouble and always allows it through. So it's one of those bags, right? But this time, the airline worker was not having it. It was a packed flight. We were boarding last in economy, and it was just a shit show. I got through just fine with my little backpack, and I could hear the argument from the boarding tunnel thingy, and it was getting heated. I was about to go back and try to smooth it out, but my fiance rushed past and just boarded the plane. I assumed not having heard it super clearly that the attendant had given in and let her on. That was not the case. So we found our seats and settled in. I was pretty tired and I could tell that she was upset, so I just kind of tucked into the window and put my head down and tried to take a nap. But soon after, the airline worker and the cop showed up, and they are not fucking around and want her off the plane. She tries to plead and cry, etc., but they are not having it. And maybe in a moment of panic or just plain self-preservation, the cop asked if we were together, and I blurt out, "No!"
I'm fucking
shaking my head emphatically. I got the kill dagger eyes from her as she shot up and grabbed her bag and followed the cop out. She was also swearing and screaming the whole way out. Now, obviously, this is well after the event that I'm posting this, but when she did eventually get home, she caught the next flight out with the bag checked. I was there to pick her up. She obviously thought I was an asshole, and to be honest, almost everyone I know thinks I'm an asshole, except my boss and coworkers who, for context, were very much relying on me to get back in time because I gave my word for a project. So am I the asshole for this self-preservation?
Yeah. You're an asshole because you know sis. She's been complicated the whole time. She's problematic. She's been trying to force this fucking bag rule. Man, this bag never fits. They've been letting you slide. Eventually you're going to get caught, and I've been telling you to put this shit up. Why can't you just listen? She don't listen because she do what she want to do, and that's fine. But you love her for it. She's your fiance for it. It didn't bother you for once. You also a hoe because you said no. You said no because the police.
And he said emphatically shook his head no.
Do you know her? No, I the officer. She's fucking. I don't know her. You didn't know what to say. You defaulted to that. You low key a hoe, and it's hilarious. And leave sis. Leave her. You don't love her like that because default. By default,
leave her. You don't love her?
You don't love her like that. You're sick of her shit. You're sick of that bag bullshit that she pulls every time, and you're just dealing with it to the degree. Take your ass on. The police is here. I came one bag. This is my book bag. I don't know that bitch. Leave us, because it should have been when you riding. with your problematic ass person, you stand up and you be problematic. I don't understand why her back can't get on here. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Okay, well.
I'm not doing that, but I'm just saying.
So,
ignoring her?
Yeah, are you the asshole for acting like you don't, your fiance, yeah, you the asshole.
You the asshole.
Because I feel like.
Get off, or you can get off with her and just be like, yeah, I told you.
Get off, or I would try everything in my power to preempt this.
That's fine, but you do anything other than be like, I don't know that.
Yeah. You're wrong for that.
I said leave her.
What could you have done?
I said leave her because you don't want, like, that's your default. You don't want no problems with that.
Yeah.
Like, even back to that. If your dude, dude you dealing with, person you dealing with.
But it's all a problem until this person go that hard for you, and you need them to go that hard to advocate for something y'all need as a couple. You need somebody that's gonna do that shit, but you don't want them to be doing it. I mean, to me, this is a personality trait that you've seen, because if these are following traditional norms, you proposed to her knowing she was like this.
No, she was like
this. This isn't the first time. Because I'm thinking...
That's why I say leave her.
And obviously these people are white. Because if you're going to keep up this racket up until the police are here, you still keeping up this
shit. You got on the plane. They told you no, ma'am, and you kept walking.
You walked past.
They basically said, ma'am, you can't take this bag on this plane. And you left that bag there. You was like, I always take it. And you got on the plane and sat your ass down.
Yeah.
Today had to come and get you and say,
put it beneath the plane.
Yeah, go take it. I'm not fucking taking the bag. So, and it's always there. I'm not dealing with that.
I'm not paying the check back.
I'm not. And you went to security, you set your ass down.
Yeah.
Today came and said, ma'am, get your ass up. He's like, oh. Somebody going to jail?
And you took another flight? You stayed on that plane.
Yeah, you stayed on that plane, did what you had to do.
Yeah, that's not marriage.
You gotta go.
That's not marriage.
That's what I said, leave her. Leave her. You married her. You knew she was like that. Now all of a sudden you want to try to get the court of public opinion involved on your wife who been a bitch.
Yeah.
She been like that. She been
and you like that. You like that.
Difficult.
You like that.
You or you deal with it.
Because you proposed. Again, that shit has worked in your favor.
I not like it.
There's been times where they tried to charge you extra for valeting.
Yeah, he's not fucking paying.
We're not paying extra.
Yeah, he's not. Put your card away.
You telling me
I'm
going to be extra? No.
I want to see your manager.
So.
And then when it was cool, when it was for that.
So, this is the last.
He don't like it for that either. He just deal with it. Then he should have
proposed, so she ain't changing.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
She done got away with that shit too many times. That's why she did it.
Anyway, go ahead.
Last one, maybe. This one is called
Last one, yeah.
The Bedroom Equalizer. I'm going to get right to it. She is 25. She's a female. Boyfriend, 28, male, likes to be called daddy while in the bed.
Yeah.
While they're being intimate. I've obliged this request but it's starting to creep me out. And I've decided I don't want to do it anymore. He is not happy with this and insists it has nothing to do with the connotation of the word. He just simply enjoys hearing me say it. Since he wasn't budging on the issue, I told him I'd like for him to call me grandma in bed as a compromise. He didn't like this option and said it was giving him visuals he would prefer not to have. Like, okay, join the fucking club. Anyway, the last time he tried to initiate intimacy with me, I started to refer to myself as grandma in the third person. Do you like when grandma does that? Etc. He flew off the handle. Said I ruined the mood, made him feel gross, and I was being ridiculous. I think it proved my point, but he thinks I was being an asshole. So, am I the asshole?
You know, this is the thing. It ain't for everybody.
What ain't?
The daddy thing. That some women just don't like it. They do that literal thing. They can't step outside the box. Is it a little bit corny? Yeah. Because obviously we're not talking about you being a father here. But
you think it's corny what?
To be like, I'm not calling you daddy.
Oh, okay.
If in the event, if the niggas giving zaddy energy, throw back and go, and I'll take a brick for daddy. I'll just do it. But understandably so, everybody's not into it. And because she's not into it, he should have let it go. Like, it's not a thing that has to be forced by any means. And again, it's more of accept these folks and situations for what they are. I want you to call me daddy while I'm hitting this thing. I'm not going to call you daddy. Sir, if it's a deal breaker for you, roll out. If it's a deal breaker for you, ma'am, because he wants you to say it, roll out. But arguing about it to the degree, because both of you have valid points. If that's that man, I'll serve me up this. I am all about it. serve a complete and total fantasy. This is fantasy land here. I am a performer. I am on cast. I am on set. And baby, it's lights, camera, action. I'm doing what I'm. The cameras are rolling. Not quite literally, but the lights are on. The cameras are rolling. Everybody's not like that. So she's probably taking it literally. Every time you say that, I think of my father. If she's expressing that, he should probably even want her to stop. I don't want you to think. If you can't separate it, you're actually thinking of your own dad. Let's let that ride. Ma'am, are you petty as fuck for talking about, call me grandma? Yeah, it is.
So she be an
asshole. Because nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. I'm not saying she's being, she was an asshole for that because it's passive aggressive and it's petty. Just say you don't like it because, again, people are saying daddy. People are saying daddy, yeah, mama, I like this, whatever. Nobody's saying, yeah, grandma, you like it. Nobody's doing it. It isn't mainstream if they are. So you're being petty. You're being passive aggressive, and that's assholey. Also, waiting until the moment to do it is assholey. But I think both of them are.
Both of them.
Yeah, I think him forcing her hand to it, being like, Jesus, why can't you just do it? She don't like it, bro. Let that shit go.
Yeah.
And ma'am, he like to be called fucking daddy. So if you can't rock with that, y'all need to discuss some other shit. Like, it seems, if you're writing in, it's a big part of their sex life. Like, our sex life is struggling because I won't call him daddy. Our sex life is struggling because this bitch won't call me daddy, and that's what I like. That gets me there. Sounds like we got a clear line that we can...
So, I'm going to ask you a question. You can choose to not answer.
I'll see. If I want to plead the fifth.
You be calling niggas daddy?
I'm not pleading the fifth on that, but this is elaborate. I just feel like saying calling niggas daddy is just a stretch.
You be calling men that you fuck daddy?
Have I done it? Bitch, I'm called the bitch daddy. Let's get it together.
I didn't even mean it. I didn't literally, my eyes went cross. Like, I think
it's the role we playing right now. But no, yeah.
So do you prefer not to answer?
No, I don't. I have.
You have called people daddy.
I have called a nigga that is doing what needs to be done damn daddy. What odds was that? Okay. Am I thinking of my father when I'm doing it? No.
What do you call your dad?
Pop.
What if the man asked you to call him Pop?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
Because that's weird.
Yeah. Why are you doing that?
So
because that would only, if I meet him and he's like, hey, can you call me Pop? I would go ahead and let him know, like, no, I actually call my father Pop. So I'm not doing that. If you're actually wanting me to do that after hearing that I call my dad Pop, we got an even bigger issue. You gotta go.
Okay, so if you call your dad Pop, he doesn't know you call your dad Pop, and he says, when I'm in that thing.
No. So I meet him, he has no idea that I call my dad Pop, and he's just like, when I'm in, I'll let you call me Pop.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, he does not know that you call your dad Pop, and he wants you to call him that during fucking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no. Okay.
Okay.
Because I quite literally. So if I'm able to separate. So daddy doesn't put an image of my dad in my mind. Pop will.
Okay.
Because I call my dad. So you're not gonna be why. I'm just like ooh Pop.
That's what she's saying is giving for that.
I get it, which is why he needs to.
I would be clear because you being nice and you try to not judge people. I think that shit is weird as fuck. If you like your man to call you daddy while y'all are fucking, I think you got fucking issues.
Your man to call you daddy.
What? Whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. I think all of it is weird. And I don't know. It might be, particularly, I'm going to be very honest, because again, I say the shit y'all thinking, I just don't have a problem admitting my shit. So it might be my own daddy issues. I don't call my father dad, daddy, Pop. I call him by his name. And so, but I'm thinking, it's still weird. It just reminds me, and people like to draw a separation. You're going to try to do it here. I don't agree. But I think it's that tricky, murky water of weird shit. Like, why are there so many porn categories of barely young teen or stepdad? Yeah, shit like that. And I'm thinking,
stepmom. Their stepmom's getting out of the dryer.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I think it's weird as fuck.
It's a line.
When you do that, when y'all appropriate Hispanic and Latino culture, and you be like mommy and poppy, cool, do your thing. I think that's weird. There's a lot of other words you can use, but as for Fi Angela and where she stands with it, some shit you just got to put your foot on, and I can admit, I'll be judgy on this shit. I think it's weird, and I think y'all got fucking issues. So, anyway.
I got the issues.
Oh, you got them, obviously, very clearly.
I would have bricked with Zaddy.
Very clearly.
I'll take the trip with Zaddy.
No. And I've had people fuck me and they be like, I've had people like that.
What do you do? So boom,
that fuck me.
Yeah, they bye. Say this shit. Say daddy, and you just be like, I'm not saying that. That's what you say, like mid, hand on back, wah. Yeah. I don't know what he was saying. Daddy like this shit. You like what daddy doing? Daddy putting that dick in there, ain't he?
You know
no, actually, you're not, Trevor.
Now here you go. Very easy.
This is
very easy. I'm gonna move forward or move up. The insertion is now.
I'm moving off of it.
Tap. I'm good.
Ah, damn. You done ended the session off it? You nigga, what I do? With me? I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm not tolerating. Do you cross your legs after? Because now you ass naked. You ass naked.
I just like you ruined the moment. Like I'm fucking dried up. Like that's weird as fuck. I'm not doing that. But most of the time we've had that conversation before. Like I talk about sex before the sex happens.
And so you know not to get in there with that.
So I'd be like, are you a talker? Do you prefer to be quiet? You know, I don't like quiet people. But I'd be like, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna make you call me daddy. Hey, so glad you said that. Full stop. I won't be doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll say a lot of shit. I'll give you a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Daddy ain't it. Daddy ain't motherfucking it.
It ain't for everybody.
Anyway, so that was people be saying shit. Obviously, people be saying a lot of shit. We say a lot of shit. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Which I hate to ask you what you think about this because it's really just a fucked up situation. But I would say if it ain't one thing, another. I think what's going on in Hawaii and Maui is just devastating and terrible with the fires that have happened there. And the way that it's being handled. But I just want to say, and we've talked about this before, nature is going to preserve itself. And these native Hawaiians have been telling y'all to stop visiting their fucking country for a long time. They don't want your tourist money. They don't like y'all, the fact that y'all overthrew their queen just not that long ago. Told them they can't speak that language. And one of my favorite movies is Moana. I know there's some appropriations, some blending of cultures. I love it. But Teka said, get the fuck out. And don't come back. And they want to restore it to the heart of Nefiti. And you need to let them. Okay? She needs to go get Maui. And he needs to get the little egg, the little shell shit that the ocean was trying to give her. But in all seriousness, praying for the lives that have been lost there, the lives that have been lost there. Again, if you're not hip to it, the people of Hawaii have been saying our economy, our infrastructure is so fucked up. Yeah. Please stop coming here. We cannot continue to be solely dependent on your tourism dollars, especially when it eradicates our own culture.
My if it ain't one thing is another is directly related to that. I didn't know if I was actually going to say it or not. That's why I didn't have anything. But you brought it up because that's how in sync we are.
Okay.
In association with those fires, have you seen the billionaires buying property in Hawaii?
It's shit like that.
Oprah.
It's shit like that. My dog. I hate that. Again, I don't. You know, we live long enough.
Acres. I'm talking about 80, 90, 100, 400 acres. And they're buying these burning lands because it's capitalism at its finest. But that was my if it ain't one thing, it's another. I just didn't know if I wanted to do that because Oprah might watch us and now she's gonna be bad.
Yeah, but I think accountability. If y'all know me, y'all know I love Oprah. But it's the accountability. I think somebody said, I heard that recently they sent to people like, I need to get back to the line, and they were like, I got, precious things in my home, and that person was looking for a Rolex, right? And it's like, come on, man, like people have lost everything. If you've ever visited, I went to Hawaii before I knew, this was like 2000, maybe 15 or 16, beautiful place, but so much homelessness.
Ooh.
So I just think, again, hearts go out to them. If you are a person that is in control of a lot of capital and you can think about how you can support Hawaii and in particular Maui, do that in a way that centers the people that live there, the natives that live in that place, and think about what they're saying, the people that are indigenous to that culture. So that's my thing. Be conscientious, be intentional about how you support these lands, and think about how we can support the people of Maui that will be rebuilding for a while. Because of the way that America does this thing to make these other countries and other areas dependent on us, and we just sort of took Hawaii. It's kind of fucked up. Look into the history of it. But anyway, that's my if it ain't one thing, it's another. And I think that's about all we got for the show. I think we covered a lot.
We did.
And the top segment.
Hit a lot of tops. Hit a lot of things. Hit a lot of facts.
But where can the people find you? Where can they get you?
Everywhere you be at Michi Davis on all platforms. Look me up, book me up, comment, like, subscribe on all of our things. Where can they see we at?
Well, before you get to me, make sure you go and see my dog at WSSU, or also just SU, or Winston-Salem State University. Make sure you go check out my dog at the comedy show during homecoming. You hear her on the name on the I-1010 with the heavy movers, because she that. Okay? Don't be humble. Fuck these hoes. You know what I mean? And if you at homecoming and you want to fuck with my dog, slide them DM. She's single as fuck. You know what I mean? Look at her. Lashes lashing. So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Threads. And probably other places at FiyaAngelou, and it's FIYAANGELOU. You can email the podcast at facts.feelings.pod@gmail.com.
Every time.
You can follow us on TikTok at that same kind of email address.
Yeah.
And I think we out this bitch.